My name is Vincent Valdez. I was born in San Antonio, Texas. Drawing and painting for me has always been something that's been quite natural, very instinctive since an early age. I mean, it was probably felt as natural as learning to walk or talk for me. I'm primarily, I guess, viewed as a painter. Consider myself a painter, but really focus as extensively on drawings, large-scale monumental drawings, do a lot of printmaking. And so for me in the studio, my practice really consists of constantly challenging myself and sort of re-evolving as an artist in terms of concepts and mediums, techniques. And I have a tendency to really bounce around, not only between the actual mediums of making work, but also in terms of interests, subject matter, and influences. Well, I applied for the Berlin Residency Program because I felt like it was, actually I should say I jumped at the opportunity to apply for the Berlin Residency Program because I felt like it was a tremendously amazing opportunity for me as an artist. As someone, as an individual living in San Antonio, it was an amazing chance to jump over the Atlantic and immerse myself in an entirely new atmosphere and environment. I've always felt that one of the most important things that any artist can do is travel, right? And travel as much as possible, because you'd be amazed at how quickly different parts of the world, different cultures, different lifestyles will influence you as an artist and start to seep out into your work, whether you like it or not. It gave me an opportunity to present my work in an entirely new context, but more so to take it out of this context and see how it relates to other artists in other parts of the world, such as Berlin. It was an opportunity to get feedback from other artists, from critics, from curators, and figure out where it is that I fit in outside of Texas, outside of the United States. I remember walking onto that studio, going out to get a giant Berliner beer, and then just lay in the park all day because my head was just racing with, and I felt like I was questioning things, I was being critical, and I was being pushed in ways that I hadn't really encountered in a long time, and so it was very important for me. I cannot express enough how much of an impact this residency had on me as an artist, as an individual. I was so blown away by the environment that I was in, by the city and its history, by the art scene there, by the actual program itself. It really had a profound and deep effect on my practice, on the directions that I'm taking since then. It has really made me think about how I approach painting. I was looking at painters who I had never seen, whose work I had never seen in person, like Gerard Richter, Sigmar Polke, and then the old guys like Anthony van Dyck, in the old Hamburg Bahnhof Museum. I would stay there for hours, days at a time, until I couldn't walk anymore in those museums, just staring and breaking down the actual act of painting, how they related, how they differed, what was, these contemporary artists like Richter, a tremendous painter who is constantly sort of reinventing himself as a painter. And when I returned back into my studio in San Antonio, I had this tremendous urge to paint. For me, painting's always been a very sort of love and hate relationship, like it is for many other painters. I always had drawing to fall back on, because drawing always seemed so natural. I could never quite figure out how to paint like I draw, and I always felt like that was my quest. And when I returned from Berlin, I felt like that quest had changed, right? Like it was no longer relevant anymore. I felt like I was now trying to figure out how to paint like a painter rather than like a draftsman, right? And so I really couldn't wait to come back and get to painting, and have been painting pretty rigorously since then over the past year. And so since then, I feel like it's really transformed the way that I apply paint to canvas, and sort of has changed my ideologies about what it is that I'm trying to say in painting, why portraiture, why the scale that I choose to work on. And so yeah, I think there really hasn't been a day over the past year that I haven't had that experience in Berlin on my mind. This Berlin residency program is probably one of the strongest things one of the strongest opportunities that the city of San Antonio has going for itself. This is something that I feel I can't emphasize enough how important it is that we continue to support this program and encourage artists to apply to this program. This is something that is fairly new. I think it's rare in terms of connecting San Antonio to a city like Berlin, all the way across the ocean.